Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of TheDropPodcast. This week has been crazy. Not, well, I don't know. Maybe I take that back. Maybe not like crazy, but oh man, so good tea. It hasn't been crazy. But I was learning about they just moved me at work. They moved me from one department to another. So the way that a warehouse works, hold on. I just remembered I guess at the time. The way that hold on. I was looking up Dolly, the painter artist. Because I think he has this cool painting, and it's hold on, let me just look. It's called the Persistence of Memory. And what's cool about it is that there's melting clocks all over the place, but there's things inside of it, like this face, like there's an eyelash, a nose. I mean, you'd have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but supposedly the whole thing is a face. I haven't been able to see it though, but I just remember my art teacher was telling me about this. So this is kind of interesting. I went to a Catholic private school, right? And my senior year, we had this lady retire because I think she got pregnant. She got pregnant, and eating strawberries. In a second. So she got pregnant, and decided to leave, or maybe she even retired. She was the sweetest. I mean, she was so sweet. None of us really ever listened to her, but she was really nice. But anyway, that's besides the point. So she retired, and to replace her, we got this one teacher, and this is kind of interesting. This is a, like I said, this is a private Catholic school, which Catholics, well, we'll get to that. But he was gay, and what else? Well, he was just gay and very artistic, but he was unique. Like he was personally probably my favorite teacher, just because he was also a performer. He was a what kind of pianist? He was a what is it? A classical pianist. For shoot, I can't think of the name. Like a symphony, but not like a symphony. I can't remember, but he was really good. Like one time we gave him what's that? Is it Remember Dre or something like that? I don't know, I forget. But anyway, so we had him play it, and just like we just looked up the notes, and so he just started, and the way that he was playing, it was like perfect. Like nothing was off. Every single note was on. It was incredible. Like It was amazing that, he didn't need to practice. He could read it like right off the bat and just play it. But the reason why he was able to get that position anyway, because that school was over in Alton, Illinois. So it's, that pretty much gave it away, but it doesn't matter. So it's kind of like a country area. Not that I don't think people were homophobic or anything, but definitely some people probably were. Definitely. I just don't think anyone at the school... Well, I think by this point, I think gay marriage passed, or I can't remember if it even was passed or if it was pushed through by executive order, but I don't know. But it became legal, which is crazy. Now that I think about it. Was it 2015 or was that 12? Here, let me just look it up. When was gay marriage legalized? When was gay marriage legalized? It's kind of unbelievable that it wasn't, in a way. June 26, 2015. That's crazy. So I graduated, or I went into high school in 2016. So only a year before was gay marriage legalized. That's crazy. But anyway, I think by this point, most people, I think the biggest thing from a religious perspective was just dropping God from the equation. Which is kind of silly to begin with, because the United States is supposed to be separated church from state. So, I mean, it's confusing because religion plays such a huge role in culture, and culture kind of creates law, you know what I mean? Or I guess law is created based off of culture. So I think, there's just it's weird because the culture is, was so shaped by religion, even though it's supposed to be separate. So I don't know. Basically, I don't think people are evil. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was just making a defense real quick. I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting, you know what I mean? Let's see, this is the eternal where James comes and strip it at what price? But anyway, I think by this point, like I said, culture has now kind of just let go of it, and people don't really care anymore. Now it's people don't necessarily support it. For example, there's that businesswoman, which is a wacky case. It's she didn't want to serve customers because it was for a gay wedding. Now I remember reading into it a while back. So I mean, all the information that I say, I'm pretty sure, but it's just right off the top of my head. I think basically there was this old woman, and she was either taken to court or sued for not wanting to serve her products at a gay marriage or gay wedding. And she came out saying, I love these people. One of them was a longtime customer. But then she was but I'm not going to let that affect my relationship with Jesus. Now, I don't know. Whatever. That's a different conversation to have in itself with her, but I mean, if that's how she feels, then whatever, you know what I mean? Like, who really cares? I've got load shields where I cannot sell them. But, so I think what had happened is basically she said that, and the customer was like, okay, you know, it's cool. Like, originally it was, like, I think the guy was like, okay, that's cool, but then he came back to his husband and said, you know, we probably gotta find another place. And so the husband, or the soon-to-be husband, got upset and then sued her, you know what I mean? Which actually, now that I think about it, I think there was more to it. But either way, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, you're gonna sue a business for you know, for religious reasons. They don't want to serve you, and you're gonna sue. Like, I don't know, I just think that's wrong. Now, I don't think the business got in trouble, at least by law, which is how it should be. You know, you shouldn't get in trouble by law for religiously not wanting to do X, Y, or Z, unless it's impeding on another person's right, which I guess that could be an argument. Was he, by not serving these people, is that impeding on their right? Because I don't know. Because then if you look at it this way, what if every single wedding, or not wedding, what if every single cake makers wouldn't serve them? Then, I mean, I don't know, is cake alright? Like, I mean, I don't know, that's a conversation. I don't know, either way, the truth is, like, there was no way that they couldn't go to another wedding cake makers or whatever. Like, if they really wanted it to happen, like there's a difference. Like, you shouldn't make it illegal to be ignorant, you know what I mean? And I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't say it's ignorant. I mean, to me, it kind of is, just because, like, I feel like to be ignorant, let me just look up the definition of ignorant before I start talking anything about anybody. Because I understand, you know what I mean, if people feel a certain way about certain things for certain religious reasons, like, that's cool, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any problem with women wearing a hijab, you know, if it's for a religious reason, you know, I could care less. It's none of my business. Matter of fact, I think it's cool because it adds to culture, you know what I mean? I just think it becomes a little bit different story whenever it's, like, very hateful, which is, there's one thing I like about, what was I looking up? I can't remember. I'm going to listen back to this and be like, oh, shoot, you should have, but whatever. Like, it's cool that, you know, like, that there's, like, culture, you know what I mean, to certain things and certain beliefs, you know what I mean? I think, I'm gonna get in I don't know, but I guess it is kind of weird whenever you well, I don't know, because it's kind of fudgy, because it's like, you know, if your faith tells you that sex is bad, and you go to the United States, for example, where there's, like, sex everywhere, then to you that's bad, you know what I mean? So I guess it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird. But, but I like this about the Catholic Church, though, you know what I mean? And, so I know the Catholic Church doesn't, well, the Catholic Church isn't political, right? So I don't think the Catholic Church cares about U.S. law, you know what I mean? Obviously in the Vatican, you know, if it's by church law, gay marriage, well, a communion of gay interaction shouldn't be a thing in the eyes of the church. So obviously gay marriage wouldn't be okay if that's the case. You know what I mean? So then it's like, yeah. So I mean, it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to support gay marriage. But what I'm saying is, like, even so, I think it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, in the church isn't necessarily involved with U.S. government or politics. So I'm sure, like, basically, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you asked someone about whatever religion, or if you ask, like, the Pope, for example, if they think that, or if they support gay marriage in the U.S., they'd be like, I don't really support gay marriage, but I don't care what the U.S. does. You know what I mean? Probably something like that. I don't know. Oh, but this is the interesting conversation, I guess, with like the United States. So the United States was kind of built on, like, Protestant Christianity. You know what I mean? Which is like anti that, or back then was, I should clarify, and now by this point, like, religion, like Christianity is such a big circle, you know what I mean? So you can't, whenever I say these things, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, I wouldn't look at every single Protestant Christian this way, but in my experience, the more so than a Catholic. Shoot. Now I'm getting this, like, comparison thing. I shouldn't do that. Because really it's just the individual, you know what I mean? But I think what's good about Catholicism, though, is that there's, like, one specific direction that you can go to. I'm not reading anything of what's going on in the game, by the way, so I'm just kind of walking around. But what's cool about the Catholic Church, though, is that the Catholic Church has different or not different. The opposite is what I mean. The Catholic Church has one the Catholic Church has one okay. The Catholic Church has one rule of law, which is in the Catechism, and so that's kind of like what you can base their beliefs on. Whereas, like, Christianity is, like, you have to be talking very specific, like, and then once you get to non-denominational, then it's like they could believe in whatever the hell they want to believe in, like, whoever they are. You know what I mean? Which is cool in itself. But this is kind of what I was saying about, like, culture, though. Like I don't know, like, I feel like it's kind of weird, and whenever you say, like, something is, like, cool, like, and I'm just gonna go on this side tangent because I don't want to be like these people, because, like, I always hate whenever people are like for example, I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and someone was like, oh, XYZ is beautiful, or he was saying, he was talking about what are transgenders. He's like, like, transgender is beautiful. Or he was basically saying, like, why is there, like, this argument? Like, yeah, it's different, and science is still science, but there is beauty in this culture of there's beauty in the culture of, like, a transgender, and, like, no, there's not. I don't care. Well, I mean, not that there's not, but it's like, to me, it's the same thing as a male and a female relationship. Like, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't describe that as beautiful. Now, if I'm in a relationship and I'm like, wow, this girl is really beautiful, then I'm like, yeah, she's beautiful. You know what I mean? But I could care less about anyone else's relationship. Like I feel like, in a way, that's just, like, appealing to the crowd. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be like that, but I do have a certain level of appreciation for culture. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I just love Japanese culture. You know what I mean? I want to go to Japan so bad, and I love anime. Like, that's one thing I will say. Like, I love anime. Not all anime. You know what I mean? Some anime I don't care about. I wouldn't describe it as beautiful. Like, some anime I would say is beautiful. Like, wow, that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Because it kind of connects with me personally. Like, someone's relationship is different because it doesn't connect to me personally. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference from experience, which is beautiful to you. Like, an experience can be beautiful to you, but I just don't understand. I guess that's a better way to say it. I don't understand why that relationship would be beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it, I guess. You know, maybe like some people, like a is it anthropologist? Hold on, let me just look this up. The people that study different cultures, like maybe those people, you know what I mean? But you're gonna tell me that you look at things and be like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like, no, you don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. See, here's another thing. Like, I feel like I get very judgmental sometimes. Judgmental about people trying to not be judgmental or something like that. Like, I just like real people, you know. I like genuineness, but it's probably because that's one of my biggest struggles. I feel like not so much anymore, but I don't know. Whatever. It's just silly. Like just say what you think. Like, if you don't have a problem with it, you don't have to, you know, suck all these people's, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be succumbing to these people. Like, you don't have to bend over for these people. Like, if you just think it's cool, it's cool. Like, whatever, I don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's different, you know? This is different. It doesn't have to be so serious. And I guess that's my thing. Like, I feel like we make life so serious. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Oh, but here's what I was saying about Catholic Church and gay marriage. So, like, the Catholic Church is like one rule of law. You know what I mean? That's the catechism. And that's cool because you can know, even though these individual Catholics believe in some certain specific thing, like, for example, that, you know, gay people are going to hell, that's not necessarily what the Catholic Church believes. Rather, the catechism says, no, like, one, Jesus is supposed to be this person of forgiveness and whatever else. So, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation in itself. But also the catechism, you know, doesn't believe that. Well, I mean, so one, that all people, if whatever sin, are going to hell, but also that that being gay is necessarily bad. Now, that's very confusing because it's like being gay to the Catholic Church isn't bad, but the act of it is bad because they believe that sex is supposed to be for reproduction purposes only. Like, it was something very specifically designed by God for reproduction. So by that, you know, belief, so is masturbation, and so is pornography, and so is I didn't prepare for this. You know what I mean? Just like stuff like that. And so, I mean, I kind of feel like, to me, like, by that understanding now, like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I guess I could see that. Like, not that I necessarily agree, but I respect the consistency in it. You know what I mean? And also, like, even though it's still kind of against, it's still very, very much like it's not like cool with it, but it's not like you will burn in, like it's not like a death sentence. You get what I mean? Like it's more understanding, even though, and there's also like logic. Now, like I said, there's the other conversation to have is just about the Bible itself, but there's consistency in the belief. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Like I'm cool with that. You know. Like I'll vibe with you there. You know what I mean? I'll kick it. We can kick it. Hold on, let me check out this battle real quick. See if there's any techniques. Holy crap! Copycat skill, copy lightning technique. That's insane. Slurp kiss. See Chrono Trigger. Sky. Oh, Zeal boss battle. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about that. This is kind of cool. Like I feel like we haven't really talked about on this podcast before. Stuff about what am I trying to say? We haven't really talked about this stuff before. Trying to put my finger on it. Religion. Well, yeah, we have, but not like this type of religious stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is cool. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's whatever. You know, it's cool. It's cool. Basically, it's cool. Yeah. Sure. I don't know. That's all I got. I think I started this podcast off. I was telling you guys about my. That's not good. I believe I was sharing with you guys how I am. Oh, this looks like it's gonna be dope. I was sharing with you guys about my work, and I just. What the heck? Oh. And I didn't get a promotion. I mean, I kind of got a promotion. Holy crap. Well, it's not a promotion because my pay didn't go up, but it's an improvement for me. It's a bump up from where or basically like my job is secured. So like my boss pretty much told me that like he appreciates my work that I do, and you know that I become a very valuable person for the company, and it just feels really good to be that, you know. It just made me feel very, very like confident, and one thing I was kind of worried about, because I am about to go get this job, or not this job, but because I am about to go buy this whole house, it's kind of nice to know that like that he values like that work, and that like I'm pretty secure in this job that I have. So it felt good, you know. Yeah. Well, now that I'm focused on this, probably need to cat attack first, and then I'm going to hit him with. Oh, you know what's cool? So I've gone to, what the heck? What was the point of that? That was so useless. Oh, and I completely lost what my train of thought was. It was really cool though. Whatever it was really cool. Oh yeah. So this podcast is doing really, really, really good. I just checked. I've been kind of on the stats as of lately, and I've also been listening to it a lot. And it's been, one, the quality of me, like my ability in the conversation has been improving. Still not exactly where I prefer it to be. Like I still want to take it up a notch. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this episode has probably been my best episode, especially since like I didn't have any notes. Like I just kind of did it. Because this week, you guys are starting to catch up to me, so I'm starting to kind of freak out a little bit. So I think this weekend I'm gonna do 5 extra episodes. Because I think last week I actually only did 1 episode, and I do 3 a week. So then it's like before I had like a whole bunch on stock, and then I started running out. But you know what's cool though, is that like whenever I go back to listen to them, it's like I remember where I was mentally at that time, and like some of the things I think about, because I go through like some thoughts like just so often, you know what I mean? Like for example, I'm trying to see what I listened to recently. Or just like the recent episode. Podcast, How About You, or not How About You, The Drop. Think Like an Artist. Like I was on that. Like to me that was like a long time ago. Like that was probably 2 weeks ago. But then to like revisit that and then be able to see where my head was and kind of where I've gone with that idea, or if I've just forgotten about that really good idea, it kind of helps me, because it's like now I'm like reabsorbing that idea, you know what I mean? Like it's coming back to me. And so it's good, you know what I mean? That's cool, because it's just so the portal shot. Oh, this jerk. Oh, baby, their lives are at stake. What was I saying? Yeah, I was saying it's cool because it's like I can. Well, it just helps to be able to follow like where I was, and maybe if I didn't finish up on a thought, then I can kind of revisit it, and it's like storing all these puzzle pieces. Because remember how I talk about how life is like one big puzzle piece, and you're trying to just like collect all these pieces and just put it together to figure out life, figure out what's going on here and who we are, and XYZ. So that's kind of what we're doing, right? And oh shoot, we're about to get the vehicle. Dang, where'd that thought go? Speaking on. Hold on. It's the thought's like right there. Yeah, just to revisit or finish a thought. Oh yeah. So, what I was saying. So if it's like a puzzle piece, then it's like, and I'm collecting all these pieces. It is it's almost like all these pieces are or all the pieces of this puzzle it helps because like before it'd be like it would kind of be lost in like the space of my brain, you know what I mean? But now it's more like now I have this library, this audio library where it's more connected or more collected in a specific in like there's a place that I can go to kind of revisit these ideas, like a library or I guess, you know, to fit with that with the puzzle piece thing. It's like I have this place where I can go to where I can like I almost see it in my head. You know, in Super Smash Bros. Melee, how there's like the trophy thing, like the big collection of trophies that you can slide through. So it's almost like that, except I'm like walking down a hall, and like to the left and right are like these puzzle pieces like spinning in cool lights. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what it's like in my head. And also I think like what it's like, you know, you to be able to use this podcast to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hold on. Let me get this chick some powers. Fortunately, you were born before magic. Oh, that's booty. But yeah, so I mean, besides that, like, I'm just really glad that I started this podcast too. And oh yeah, like I was saying, like the data, the stats, I'm up to like 10 new people that listen. At least for this week. I don't know if they're gonna stick around, but you know, they're here, so that's cool, you know. But also, dang, we gotta race him again. Jet, don't clean out. I guess we can't. Yeah, what was I saying though? I guess what should I say? I don't know, man. I guess like the struggle with this podcast is like I want to keep it interesting, you know what I mean? And I want to keep improving. One of my biggest fears is that I'll eventually get to the point where it's like I've maxed out on everything. But then there's other times where it's like, how do you max out on everything? Like there's so much to talk about. Like here's something interesting to that I've just been kind of thinking about. Like what if I lived forever? Like would I hate that? I think the worst part would just be seeing everybody leave, you know? Like that would be the part that sucks, in my opinion. Like I just get so attached, you know? But I also kind of feel like if you just kept living forever, you would probably stop being attached, because I think the wiser you get, the more you realize that you kind of make purpose happen for you. Like I don't really think that there's a good logical explanation for any reason why we're here. I think it's more just we're all kind of here. We're all just kicking it, you know what I mean? Which is cool and stuff, because it's like, it's cool here. You know what I mean? Like, imagine not being able to eat food. Like, that would suck. So just the fact that, like, it's almost like we were blessed. You know what I mean? It's like if your video game characters were alive. Like, if Chrono was alive right now, whenever I turn the game off, it's like nothing's there. You know what I mean? And so it's like Chrono doesn't get to enjoy whatever experience. But since Chrono is here, or since the game is on, even though it's like there's not really a purpose to what Chrono is doing. It's like he can enjoy kicking all these guys' butts, you know what I mean? He can kick it with Frog and his girl, Ayla, or not Ayla, but future Ayla. So it's cool. That's kind of how I see us. Like, we're just kind of kicking it, you know what I mean? Enjoying each other and having a good time. And then I guess, like, the weird thing is, like, there are bad times. Like, not everything is, like, perfect. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Because I kind of gain this appreciation or this enjoyment out of it, right? So, like, even though I kind of have this perspective and there are, like, times where I'm like, man, this sucks. Then at the same time, it's like my head is like, well, I mean, why? Why? Like, this, you know, like, for example, my job. It's like, I don't technically have to be doing this. You know what I mean? I don't have to be here. But at the same time, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to be here. You know, like, part of being here is just enjoying the experience. So part of that is, like, even though there's those days where I'm just like, oh man, like, for example, like today, like today's Friday. This week was just so long. But it was an enjoyable experience. Or at least whenever I thought about it, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, even though sometimes I would rather be doing something else, like, this is cool. You know? And then the other thing, I was, just kicking it at work. Yeah, I was kicking at work, and I'm learning new things because I'm being placed in a new position. I'm not going to go through this. Because I'm being placed in a new position, so it's like, you know, I'm leveling up, right? So I'm, like, learning new things, new experiences, new fun. And even though I would rather be here, because there's a lot to kind of try and pile drive in your head. At the end of the day, it's like, man, like, I enjoy this so much more. Like, I enjoy my weekend so much more. Like, there's just so much more pleasure that I get out of it than I did before, you know? Which, yeah, like probably my favorite thing is at the end of the day to just, like, snuggle in bed after doing stuff and just, like, watching anime. Like I watch tons of anime, dude. Like, I watch anime and then I'll watch anime after I watch anime. You know? And that's just something that, like, I enjoy a lot. But there's something that I feel like I didn't necessarily enjoy that back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, back whenever I was at school, and I didn't necessarily well, I mean, like, you have to wake up, but no one's gonna fire you from school for sleeping in, you know what I mean? But it's like, I just feel like I didn't enjoy it as much. And at the same time, at school, you're sitting down all day. I would take naps in class, so it's like, it just wasn't as serious, you know? I don't know. I guess I don't know what my point is with that. I don't know. This is a good episode, but looks like we're out of time. Religion. Talked about some religion, which is cool. Talked about gay marriage, which is cool. What else did we talk about? We talked about I don't remember how we something about school. That's all I remember from the last 30 seconds of things I said. Anyway, so if you guys enjoy this podcast, one thing that you can do is you can monetarily support as if you want to. I don't really care. You can do what you want. You know what I mean? I would definitely appreciate it. But whatever. You know what I mean? But if you so choose to, one way that you can do is if you go to my website, joshuatbryan.com, there's a place if you scroll all the way down where you can donate. Otherwise, honestly, the best thing is just like, if you like it, just sharing with, whoever else you think would like it. You know what I mean? Because it's not really like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, basically, if you enjoy it, share it with someone who else would enjoy it. And even though I say this, I'm probably not going to do it. But if you want to, just for the sake of it, just for the heck of it, if you would like to follow me on social media, if you go to Joshua T. Bryan 64, I most likely will not post on there, but in case I do, you can follow that on Instagram. I'm not good with social media, like I said, and I don't really try to be, but sometimes I feel like trying to be, and whenever I feel like trying to be, I'll try to be, but most of the time I don't feel like trying to be. So most likely I won't be, but given the unique scenario that I will be, then that's where I'll be. Joshua T. Bryan 64 on Instagram. And with that being said, after I destroy all these guys with some lightning, one more sip of my tea. What the heck? Here, I'll just do this. This is what's cool about playing ROMs. You can skip everything. Alright, so with that being said, I'll check you guys later. See ya.